Peace. My name is MystyMoon, and I'm an integrative health coach for women. And my purpose is to help women heal physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And today I'm going to be discussing a combination of mental and spiritual health through sharing my experience of taking 3.5 days away from social media. And I'll be sharing with you what I learned about myself and how I plan to move forward with the hopes and the intention of inspiring you to be more conscientious of how social media has a profound effect on our psyche. And with that awareness, how we can gain that control back to have more of a balance of how we live our lives with social media. All right, let's get into it. So I would like to begin with the concept of awareness. So we all know that when we become aware of any negative behaviors that we want to eliminate, whether it's your negative beliefs, which is where it all stems from, our negative thoughts, the way that we're reactionary, our negative behaviors, and how we engage with the world in ways that doesn't serve us, once we become aware of those patterns, then they start to lose their power, right? They start to slowly dissipate. But there's this time frame between the awareness and that moment where you actually have completely eliminated those negative thoughts. You've completely eliminated the negative beliefs. You completely shifted the way that you behave, and you start acting and being the person that you're striving to be, right? So that time frame in between that, you're just sitting in your negative behavior while you're aware of it. And for some can shift just like that within weeks, within months, sometimes it's within years. And of course, being aware is getting your foot in the door. That's like the first step. But to get to that point where you actually transcend, that's where the work, the nitty-gritty work comes into play. The inner work, the meditation, the being coaching, seeing therapists, getting the support that you need in order to really completely shift your neural pathways to become that new person. Okay, so the reason why that I'm starting off like this is because I personally was aware of how social media affected me for decades, right? Especially over the last year or so. There's been, research that's been done that has proven that social media is addictive because of the dopamine release. And you're not, oftentimes when people are engaging on social media, they're always just their best self. They're not 100% authentic. And for me personally, since I'm growing my business online, a lot of us are growing our businesses online. And so it becomes a slippery slope. But just because we need social media to grow businesses online doesn't mean we should use that as an excuse. And so as of last week on Wednesday, I decided I had enough. I decided I'm going to make the choice to pull back, reset myself, and create my own boundaries of how I want to interface with social media, how I'm going to use social media to grow my business, but not allowing social media to consume me. And I'm going to be 100% real here. I was getting to the point where I became reactionary. I'm in an incredible time management course right now that's part of the Sun. And one of the things that we talked about, Arvel, who's our teacher, amazing instructor, talks about time management, right? And that within time management, we find ourselves becoming reactionary. This is mostly for those who work online. Like we have a project that we're working on, and then someone may engage with a post that we put up, or there's a message, an email, and then in our minds, we're thinking, oh, that's urgent. So we have to stop what we're doing and go and engage. And before you know it, you're in the world of Facebook and the world of Instagram and the world of YouTube. And before you know it, 45 minutes has gone by. And then if you keep engaging, you start to lose up to 6 hours of your workday within the span of a year. If you calculate all the hours that you miss engaging while neglecting your project, then it becomes imbalanced. I'm not saying that you can't interface and engage, but there's a way to have boundaries around that so that you're not reactionary. That's really, for me personally, that was the pattern that was becoming toxic for me, was the reactionary, because it's putting me in fight or flight. It's like, I gotta react. I gotta react. Like dopamine react, dopamine react. And so I found myself talking really fast, eating really fast. Less and less my self-care practices became more and more in the back burner. And don't get me wrong, I love what I do as a coach. I absolutely love what I do, which is why I can do it all day, every day. But for me personally, when I got so focused on, writing content and engaging on social media, in addition to, having 2-hour sessions with women once 5 days out of the week, my self-care practice started to disintegrate more and more. And so what needed to be adjusted was my social media interfacing. And so what I did, I decided on last Wednesday that I'm going to step away from social media. I was still able to check in with my clients, make sure they're okay. Luckily, I didn't have clients Wednesday through Saturday, so I was able to just completely just tune out. And it was interesting because the first day I was like jonesing to check my messages. I was jonesing to see, I wonder how many people saw the post that I put up about me taking a break from social media. It's disgusting. And after the first day, then I wasn't jonesing anymore. And then by the mid-second day, I was just in bliss. It felt so freeing. I felt like my energetic body was being detoxed. It was being detoxed. I was able to calm my nervous system down. I was able to get my center back. I was realizing that what was happening was because I'm working on this belief that I'm not good enough. I was searching for validation from my outside world. I was needing validation. And there's nothing wrong with needing validation. I mean, that's why there's so many of us. We are a tribe as, a human race. And sometimes we need to get validation through the eyes of our brothers and sisters around us. But when you're at a point where you're molding and shaping your worth and your identity based on people's likes and opinions of you, then you're setting yourself up to disintegrate. You're setting yourself up to fail. And then you become codependent on your community. And that's an incredible imbalance to have. And so I had to get real with myself. I needed to step away. And since I was able to do some inner work and ask myself, okay, what's this jealousy I'm feeling? What's this depression that I'm feeling? What's this need for social media that I'm feeling? And I gave it a voice. The things that I coach women on and I talk about in my videos and posts, I did the fucking work. And a lot came up. And one of the first things that my depression part of me said was that you're not putting us first. You're holding space for everyone else. You're putting out posts and content. But what about us? When I'm looking at my schedule each day, there's a little bitty tiny area for self-care and everything else is MystyMoon Wellness. And so this is something else I learned from my time management course from Arval is what he shared was that sometimes your self-care has to trump the business. Sometimes it has to be that way. Sometimes you have to plug in an hour meditation over maybe checking messages for that day. And so I had to reprioritize the way that I go about my day. And so now I'm very, very super strategic about my self-care. On one of my whiteboards, I have Monday through Sunday, every single self-care practice I'm doing. It's mapped out by the minute on my schedule. And it's going to have to be this way until I'm able to retrain myself to embody this new pattern. And sometimes we have to be that strategic. Sometimes we have to write down from the moment we get up to the time that we go to bed, how much time we're going to be in social media, how much time we're going to put in for self-care. It has to be that way because I know for me, and I feel like a lot of you out there are the same way because we're go, 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 go. Social media also, it keeps you in a very fast-paced mode. People are constantly posting. There's imagery. It's just constant stimulation. And if we can just step back and just get our own rhythm and create that boundary, then it will be so much easier to interface. And then it won't take over us. And so the last thing I'm going to say, what I'm doing now is when it comes to social media, I'm only on there twice a day. I'm there. It's a total of 2 hours because I'm there to post, and then I'm there to engage with other people's posts because that's just what I do to have reciprocity and to support other people in their businesses, and then check my messages. And then when I respond, I don't check it again until the second time of the day when I engage in social media or the next day. That's just how it has to be. So now I can focus primarily on the content that I'm writing. Of course, my clients always come first, and then my self-care now has so much more room in my schedule. And already I feel so much more empowered. I don't have this anxiety. I don't feel like I have this, I don't feel like I have an addiction. I feel like I needed 3 days to kick my addiction to social media. It's freaking crazy. So I just want to have this real conversation and just share my experience. And I hope that this will inspire some of you out there. Because we're like the social dilemma came out, there's a lot of conversation about the social dilemma. But let's take it to the next step and implement a plan that's going to keep us balanced, that's going to keep us sane. Again, let's not just sit in that awareness for too long. Let's be aware of it. Let's freaking do something about it before it's too late. So that's my share. So I hope that inspired you on some level. And if you were inspired, please like and subscribe to help me shed and spread my light into the world. And also, I'm not doing as many videos. I was doing videos every single day, and now I'm going to do them maybe twice a week, if that, whenever I really feel called to. I just have to be very, very mindful about how I'm interfacing. So when I do come and present information, it's coming from a solid place, and not just because I feel it, I have to like pump out videos every day. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm abiding by my own energy, and I trust that what I do say and what I do share will resonate with someone, and that's the end goal. I just want to inspire and uplift the planet. So anyway, much love and light to you wherever you are in the world, and until the next video, take care. Peace.